what is going on in your world?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here. And in terms of what's going on in our world, we are in the midst of a sea change that AI is driving in terms of how technology is really impacting our working and personal lives. And I think when we see a generational shift come along like this as venture capitalists, we get really excited. And what we're focused on at this moment is really partnering with these innovative, visionary founders that have a unique point of view in how to bring this technology to big markets. And in doing so, hopefully make all of our working and personal lives a lot more interesting, more efficient, and exciting.
When I look at your portfolio companies and also the types of exits, what do I conclude you're focused on? AI native or AI adjacent companies? Because every enterprise SaaS software company is now saying, oh, I'm an AI company.
So I consider myself to be an infrastructure investor. And what I mean by infrastructure is the underpinnings that power these digital experiences that we're increasingly relying on to live our lives. And when I think about AI, I think of it as yet another one of these underpinnings that is going to change how software gets developed, change the kind of software that we find in our working and personal lives, and ultimately bring all of these new capabilities to the world that we just haven't seen before. And so I'm thinking about it from that lens as yet another piece of infrastructure.
Okay, Bucky, go deep for us for a moment, because reading your note that you put out each year, it was back in end of February you put it out, about the future of infrastructure, and even then you were calling about the impact of AI. You were talking about integrating it into software, vector databases as something you were looking at, built for storage. Where, for you, starts to attract you of allocating money right now? Because you must be besieged with opportunities.
Yeah, so taking a step back, we think about this space really in three layers. At the very bottom layer, what you have is the hardware and software that allows us to deliver these computing platforms that help us train and develop these models. At the layer above that, you have tooling and infrastructure that helps us integrate these models into the software that makes the technology usable and accessible. And then, of course, at the very top layer, what you have are applications. And so examples of these applications in the Kleiner Perkins portfolio include companies like Glean, who's bringing language models to business search, or Synthesia, who's bringing diffusion models to generative video. And what we see time and time again is that value can accrue at all three layers of that stack. And so as an infrastructure investor, specifically at Kleiner Perkins, what I'm very focused on are those bottom two layers. So the infrastructure that allows us to deliver these computing platforms that ultimately make it possible to develop and train these models, and the tools and infrastructure, such as vector databases, that make it possible for developers to integrate these models into their applications.
Those models, in particular the foundational models, Bucky, does it matter whether we end up going more towards proprietary models and OpenAI? Does it end up being more open source? Do we have more of a Hugging Face situation? Does it matter ultimately? Because it's interesting that, of course, Kleiner Perkins, well, made its name on backing what are now incredibly huge companies that are deep within AI. I think of Google. Are they going to eat all the lunch, or is there room for startups in the space?
So, Caroline, I think it absolutely matters. It matters a lot. And the way I think it matters is time and time again, what we've seen is that technology that comes along that is as useful as this, it tends to trend towards commoditization. And an embodiment of that trend towards commoditization is the proliferation of open source alternatives to these proprietary models that we're really starting to see more and more often actually stand up to the capabilities that developers are looking for when pursuing use cases with AI. So I think it matters a lot, and I personally hope and believe that we're going to enter a world where we're going to have best-in-class models that are proprietary in nature from the likes of companies like OpenAI and Anthropic and so on. And then we're going to have a vast landscape of open source models that asymptotically approach the performance of those best-in-class proprietary models over time, but also make this technology accessible to anyone.
There is a temptation for us to spend the entire show talking about AI, but other things are going on in your world. The story of the week is Sequoia splitting into 3 businesses. I know that Kleiner Perkins' China business basically operates independently as well. But what do you make of that? And I guess if we are going to tie it to AI, we recognize there are entrepreneurs in China doing things in the field of AI as well.
So the venture capital industry continues to evolve and has evolved a substantial amount over the past few decades. And one of the ways it's evolved is it's grown a lot in size. But at Kleiner Perkins, our view is ultimately focus is the winning formula. And what we mean by focus is focus on stage, focus on sector, and focus on geography. So the Kleiner Perkins that you see today is one that is really thinking through that lens of focus and shaping our strategy. And I think that's where we'll be for many years to come. And that's ultimately what we think the winning formula is in this business.
What's the read-through from that to crypto? And I know that's not thematically your area, but what we hear from the VCs that come on this program is all the inbound has disappeared, and anyway, all of our outbound is going to AI. I just wondered what your view was on that.
So I think all of the regulatory conversations that are going on with respect to crypto make it a very uncertain place for new businesses to be built. And so I think what you are starting to see is that there's a shift in attention towards AI, which is very fertile ground by comparison at the moment. My hope is that the regulatory conversation comes to a head in a way that continues to allow people to innovate in that space as well. But what we're seeing now is undoubtedly a skew towards AI.
I hate to bring it up, but AI doomers or optimists? I mean, you sound relatively optimistic about all the productivity that can be drawn from this. But what do you make of either the worry about, well, the destruction of humanity, or indeed the more near-term risks of bias and other risks that are currently being involved in this situation when we apply AI?
So I think it's absolutely critical that as we start to shape the future of this technology, both from the innovation and the regulatory side, that both of those sides come together so that one another's perspectives are heard and that we are able to balance safety and innovation as we move the regulatory landscape forward around this technology. And I think if we skew one way or the other too far, the outcome will be suboptimal. And so I think that balance is really what I'm looking for and what I'm optimistic that we'll find as an industry.